discussion before I open it up for questions?
Well, my own personal submission, there are two minor points.
Yeah.
One of them is that I would like to commend the council on having an outstanding library system. It is extraordinary, and our librarians are lifesavers, as we have seen through the earthquakes and through COVID. They go out of their way to console people and spend time with them. They're the glue that holds things together, in my view. And I don't think they get due regard. As a old age pensioner and somebody who lives in a remote community, we have to pay $3 per item to have something put on hold and transferred to Akaroa. And now that petrol has gone sky high, we're coming in every 6 to 8 weeks. We don't make it a regular jaunt. So I will exceed sometimes my 30 limit withdrawal at the library. If we could, and I would probably rotate more often if we didn't have to pay $3 per item to have a book or something put on hold and sent to Akaroa. That's one thing. Because we are remote and it takes, 3 hours return trip plus to get into town? And my other brief item is that after being very active in giving submissions and serving on various committees, there is room for improvement in terms of consultation and providing information to ratepayers. I think communication could be greatly improved, and we all are guilty of it, but I think there's room to do a bit more work on that item. So,
yeah, and if I could just amplify that, it appears that any discussions about the development at Takapuneki can only be held between the Christchurch City Council and Anuku Rananga, which excludes, therefore, entities like the Akaroa Civic Trust. I believe that some of the board members of the trust have got an enormous amount of knowledge that should be shared, and I would ask whether or not we could be invited back to the table because we're keen to be there.
Yeah, no, look, I think I got a letter from you, Victoria, on that very subject last week, was it?
No, I contacted the council via Russell Wedge years ago.
Somebody has told me, because this is not news to me, and I haven't had a chance to sit down and talk to Rick Tainui yet, which is my intention next, because I don't think that there's been a decision made to exclude the Akaroa Civic Trust from the process. It's but I don't know the history of it. I mean, I don't know whether
I do have correspondence from Russell saying that it was not a possibility because it had not been consulted on at the time the conservation report went through consultation. I have been in contact several times, and the answer has been no, because it is an exclusive partnership. And I'm happy.
Look, honestly, I'm just going to say stop it, because I don't know that this is the case, and I certainly don't recall that ever being decided by this council.
Good to hear that, Leanne.
So, and I also know from my relationship with Rick Tainui and others at Onuku that nothing would be further from their mind. I mean, the pivotal role that you played in terms of the Red House, even though I haven't quite gotten over that yet, but, you know, the pivotal role that you played is not forgotten, and it is known by Onuku as it is known by myself and others. So there is absolutely nothing that is exclusive in the relationship. I can't even bear to think about where that might have come from, because I will, but leave it with me. We're in a process here. So, Sarah.
Thanks. Just can I just clarify something? It's just the Takapuneki Reserve Management Plan. That was quite widely. You were involved in that, quite widely consulted on, and there was lots of community input on it. The current state is just. Can
I leave this the way it is and get further factual information so that rather than discuss.
Yeah,
what
there has been.
They're two different things.
Yeah, no, we did work on this, and we worked in association with Jenny May. And then really with Naitahu.
Just making sure the knowledge is captured. And,
this is an excellent document.
It is,
and
an
it's
excellent
very
document.
detailed.
Yeah, Aaron.
Just a couple of quick questions on the French Farm Naval Building.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at those images, that is not going to be around very much longer at all. Like, that's an imminent saviour, or it's toast. There'll be nothing left.
It's imminent and it's highly important.
Yeah.
One of the earliest buildings
So
that we have.
yeah, it says in here it's privately owned, so
Yes.
it's on private land.
I'll let
Would-
Mike-
It's owned by the Macmillan family, who
Yeah.
are a drilling company, and it
Oh,
was
okay.
previously owned by Graham Causer, who's a Fulton Hogan chief executive, I believe, and he was less inclined to let us get to work on it. So it's covenanted, the area that the house sits on, but of course we don't own it, so therefore we can't apply for a grant to restore it.
So what about how close to the road is it?
It's close.
50 metres.
Yeah.
So would the Macmillans consider carving off that piece of land that sits on,
I
and
can't speak for them, but they seem very willing and interested.
but
They've
rather
already,
than them do the work, because then you can fundraise. We could write to the French government. Their military budget's 49 billion a year euros.
doesn't seem to extend to
Tiny
New
bit.
Zealand at the
Save
moment.
the building.
But we have had City Council heritage people over there to look at it. We're well aware of the fact that we spent $20,000 stabilising the building with the help of Heritage New Zealand. The next stage is to stabilise the roof. And as you say, the roof's not going to be around for much longer.
No.
There is, the new owners have put tarpaulins, I believe, over it. And they're very busy people, but we're keen to go and talk to them and see how we can help. We haven't got the funds to do the restoration. Maybe they have, or maybe other sources of funding could be tapped into.
I'll be asking the French. This is part of their history as well.
Yeah, they haven't been very forthcoming when we've spoken to their diplomats.
Oh, I knew it didn't go well 150 years ago, but come on, let's move on.
No, but approaches have been made to the Rainbow Warrior Fund and various sources within the French government, and they've said no.
Wow.
No.
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 Merci. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
contribution today, and it's great to see you both, and for contributing to the annual plan process. So
thank you.
Thank you.
We're up to a break period, and we're due to come back for